against all odds this Sunday, and they have done a clusterfuck, to be honest. They've added a bunch of matches and modified a few. And, it's actually a good card. Just look at the full thing. There's probably 5 episodes of this shit, so look through them. It'll be a good card. There's a few ones that kind of make me shake my head. The first one being Kurt Angle versus Jeff Jarrett. Not because it's Kurt Angle versus Jeff Jarrett, but because of the stipulations of the match. If Jeff Jarrett wins, Angle will walk Karen down the aisle so Jarrett and Jarrett can renew their vows. That's not the bad thing. But if Kurt wins, Kurt Angle will regain his 2 kids back. So basically, if you look back at SummerSlam, what was it, 2005 or whatever, when they had Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio in a ladder match for the custody of Dominic, which for whoever remembers that match, I thank you. Really? Are you going to go 5 or whatever year it's been and do that type of match, TNA? Why don't you just have a fucking custody person, wherever the fuck it was, like a woman that made the match happen? It was like a custody bat woman or something, whatever the fuck their job's called. I don't remember what they're called. I don't really care. Why don't you just put a fucking briefcase with the fucking kids' names in it? Why would you do this, and why would you think it's a good idea? To have a marriage on the line, or a renewed vows, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, against somebody's kids, someone's livelihood, which they should already have. Doesn't matter who you married or what. You gave Kurt the kids, Karen. You gave him them for your fucked up vagina and your fucking man whore shit. You look like a fucking man. But really, you're making kids' lives on the line. I don't care if this is scripted or not. This is fucked up, in my opinion. Regardless, I want Kurt to win so the kids can go back to their real father. And not with this Daddy Jeff crap. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous I'm not even talking about it. Well, the X Division #1 contendership match is set. It will be both members of Generation Me. That means, Max and Jeremy Buck, the Young Bucks, Generation Me, whatever the fuck you want to call them, against Robbie E in a triple threat match. And sure, it's kind of interesting since there's all heels in the match, but, Kaz is now face, so that makes sense. But, it's just weird to me to seeing all heels in a match. A #1 contendership match nonetheless, but still. Even a #1 contendership match is kind of weird, just having all heels in it. Nonetheless, as much as I would want to see an upset in Robbie E, both members of Generation Me will not ruin this opportunity. They have a 2-man advantage. 2-on-1, basically, and they could just have both of them pin them. It'd be a triple threat match for all I care. Fucking Generation Me versus Kaz for the belt. That's what they could probably do. I'm probably not even making this shit up. It probably would happen. But yeah. Fact is, Robbie's gonna lose. Unless it's some fucking miracle win. TNA World Titles now apparently in a ladder match, because we saw Jeff Hardy come out with a fucking retarded ass ladder that he just spray painted and jizzed on. It would have been Matt Morgan, to be honest, if Matt Morgan would have beat Mr. Anderson, but Hernandez came back. Hernandez returned, I should say, not re-debuted, but returned, and beat the shit out of Matt Morgan. Anderson got the win, and just capitalized on the opportunity. But it's a ladder match, to be honest. Both men are good in both ladder matches. Mr. Kennedy won on a Money in the Bank ladder match. Jeff Hardy's won and lost several ladder matches. But the edge would go to Jeff Hardy. This is for the fucking purple belt, is what I'm going to call it, because it's not the Immortal belt, it's not the TNA World belt, it's a fucking purple belt they made. And Jeff Hardy will retain it. Otherwise, we'll see a new belt design probably in the next few months. A street fight. We talked about this earlier, but it's now changed because Bubba Ray wants to be fucking, act like he's a fucking shit. It's now Devon and his 2 kids versus Bully Ray. And this is not a good idea for Bully Ray, to be honest, because it's now a 3-on-1 advantage for Devon and his family. And I don't know these kids much, otherwise, besides the fact that they could be a future Team 3D 2.0 or some shit. But if they could make some fat ass fall into a table, they can do something in this street fight. So the edge has to go to Devon. I almost said Southern like a Devon, but I say it's Devon and his kids will get the win. For all we know, probably one of the kids will get the pin on Uncle Ray. For all we know. This match has just been added. Rob Terry versus Gunnar and Murphy. Rob Terry and Gunnar Murphy versus Beer Money and Scott Steiner. Now, take it for granted, this is the first time we've seen Scott Steiner in an actual match since he left TNA a few years ago. But, honestly, for those who don't know who Gunnar and Murphy are, they are two of the best the NWA had for a very long time. Look in the days of NWA Anarchy, where Gunnar was the Universal Soldier, Phil Shatter, a former NWA Anarchy Heavyweight Champion, and I don't know if he's still the current NWA North American Heavyweight Champion or not, but he was a former North American Heavyweight Champion in the NWA. Murphy was Michael Judas from NWA Anarchy and several other federations where he was also a former NWA Anarchy Heavyweight Champion. And to team them up with Rob Terry, who basically was a man who won a global title, and that's all he's had so far. He's a fucking rookie. But with those experienced people, sure, you haven't seen much of them. There's some fucking security people now, but they were the shit back in the day. I watched fucking NWA Anarchy back in the day, and they were the shit, man. With Jeff G. Bailey and all that shit. For those who remember NWA Anarchy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These guys are two tough son of bitches. And sure, they might be not as much because they're booked, but go back and watch some of their matches. Go watch some Phil Shatter matches. Go watch some Michael Judas matches. They are epic. They are good at what they do. And if you don't believe me, go look it up. Now, to be honest, they're going to be facing multiple tag team champions in Beer Money and Scott Steiner, so I can't really pick a winner in this match. I really can't. But all I know is it's worth the pay-per-view buy, for sure. And finally, we have a rematch from Genesis. It's Matt Hardy versus RVD, and then a roadblock for Rob Van Dam for the TNA title hunt. So they just throw another Hardy at him. So I don't know if we're going to see a repeat. We could see Matt Hardy win. We could see Rob Van Dam win. I don't really know. I don't really care. All I do know is and by the way, before we cut off, I want to say something here. It's great that we had Rosita, aka Diviana Fly, debut with TNA. She's a hell of a competitor from the WSU, and if you don't know who Diviana Fly is, go check out some of her matches as well. Just like I said about Michael Judas and Phil Shatter. By the way, I don't know who's going to win Matt Hardy. I don't know who's going to win RVD. I don't even know if Rosita will last long. In fact, that Diviana Fly is a hell of a wrestler, a hell of a competitor. She might look like a fucking AJ Lee from far away, but she's a hell of a competitor. All I do know is, against all odds, is this Sunday night, so watch the fucking pay-per-view or we will get Jose Fuckerton to go fucking burn your house. Thank you and good day.